Hello and welcome to the Cheap Seats. I am your host, Ryu, and with me, as always, I have the co-founder, the co-host, the co-chief of the Cheap Seats, Orca Shield.
Hello, thank you for having me.
No problem. So, we've had a very busy week. I've been on the Isle of Man. So we've been having a lot of in-person videos. So we've got lots of unboxing of the WWE trading cards, both sets that we purchased, and we have some universe mode, in-person universe mode, and we have to cover the WrestleMania, well, post WrestleMania Raw, SmackDown, and then the following week's Raw. So that's pretty much what we're going to cover today. But I just want to say thanks to Orca for being a very gracious host over the last 6 to 7 days. We very much appreciated the trip. It was good fun. So yeah, where do you want to begin?
Well, we'll start. We may as well start off with Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah.
It was the better of the two shows for the Raw after Mania, Raw SmackDown after Mania. I definitely think SmackDown had the better show completely in terms of returns and debuts and all that.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus Tiffany Stratton's on it, so that's an instant win.
Just to sort of put it out there as well, Orca had the what was the name of it? Dun Ross, is that it?
Yeah, the Don Ross Elite.
Yeah, you had the Elite cards unboxing. Go and check that out as well. That was very exciting, and you managed to get exactly what you were hoping for out of this.
I did. It's up here. Let me get it for the people watching the video.
Yeah.
The video version. It is this one right here. It's Fallon Henley. No, I'm joking. That's not what. There you go.
Right.
There it is. My camera's. Let me turn the light off on it for a second. Good. There we go. That's a bit better.
Yeah.
No glare. Elite signatures. Tiffy time.
Yep. A Tiffany Stratton legit autographed card. Already in a well, it's a case, isn't it? That you,
magnetic one-touch case.
A card case. Yeah.
Never to be touched again.
No, that's awesome. That was actually quite exciting. That you pulled that. So
there is a disclaimer, and I do need to put a disclaimer to the video. When that gets pulled, the headphone users should probably just remove their headphones for like 5 minutes.
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, yeah, I agree with what you said about SmackDown. Definitely the better of the two from what I saw. So okay, let's run through what happened. So Cody Rhodes makes his first appearance as champ.
He did indeed. Belt looks good on him. The belt does look good. I mean, it's weird seeing that belt on anyone other than Roman Reigns since the last 4 years of our lives. It's just been that belt strapped to Roman. Yeah,
it really has. So we had a lot of SmackDown. As far as they did the video package, like I said, for Samantha Irvin, being very emotional with her response to Cody winning, which was great. And the promo was actually really, really good. Was this this wasn't where The Rock came out, because that was Raw after Mania, wasn't it?
That was the Raw after Mania. That one.
Right. So so this means that Cody Rhodes is now officially on SmackDown.
Well, that belt is for SmackDown, but we have got the draft starting next week, I believe it is.
Interesting.
I think the draft is... Yeah, I'm pretty sure the draft is next week.
Okay.
Unless it starts tomorrow on SmackDown as we record this. Which is why some of the matches make sense, some of them I don't know if it's a bit of foreshadowing in WWE's part. I get that they have to do the matches now because obviously Backlash is coming quite quickly.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Something like that. Yeah, they're in France for it, but then some of the matches were designed to set up title matches for Backlash.
Right.
And when you do a title match for Backlash a week before the draft, it sort of says who's going to go to where.
Right.
I mean, they might not. They might throw a curveball in, but I can't see them drafting the two people that we'll talk about in the end going to Raw. Why didn't that match happen in the universe mode?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I just clocked that as well. I'm well fucked off. That is so fucking annoying. So just for context, for the people listening, as always with the video version, we try and have just random AI matches from WWE 2K24 in the background, just so that there's something going on while we're talking. We on our universe mode, we did decide that the titles would be decided by ladder matches. After recording for about 45 minutes with no clear winner in sight, we decided that the AI were extremely bugged and couldn't use ladders properly. So we had no winner. So we decided not to bother with ladder matches. We've just played a ladder match thinking it would take forever as per usual. We've been recording for 8 mintes.
And there's a winner.
And well, even less than that because of the fuck up I did at the start of the deleted scene. But yes, we've got a winner. So I'm going to have to rematch this. Within 8 minutes, we got a winner. So let's fuck that off and try again. And if not, I'll get you to chat while I play around in the background. But anyway, yeah. So sorry. Yeah. So anyone listening, yeah, with that's all that's happened. We had an 8-minute ladder match, less than that. Yeah. Okay. So going back to going away from the game and back to SmackDown. Do I understand correctly that they're talking of changing the name of the title? I've heard rumors that they're going to drop the undisputed part of the name.
Possibly. It makes sense because they've now got the one back on Raw, so it's not undisputed anymore, is it? There is another champion that's meant to be of similar level on the other brand.
Yeah.
Granted, as Rhea Ripley tweeted out, it's being held by the bisexual Undertaker.
That's Rhea Ripley saying that, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't come up with that. No, that was from Rhea.
Apparently fans have been saying it, and then so Rhea decided to just stick it out on Twitter saying it's not bad for a bisexual Undertaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, as long as he's down for the banter as well, like as long as it's not, yeah, then that's cool. So apparently, as well, it was a business as usual promo, from what I understand. I think it'd be good. I think having Cody as champ for a little while will be a good change of pace. I think he'll be the classic good guy, always defending.
It depends what they do now with because we've brought this up in the past where it gets to the stage where you can't really have another Roman for a long time. I don't think you're going to get someone that just holds the belt for 4 years.
Yeah.
Which means that at some point Cody is going to drop it, but
Of
is the
course.
person that has beaten the streak of 4 years.
Yeah.
So how long do you give Cody to hold this belt? Do you give him until next Mania? Do you give him until SummerSlam? But how long would you put Cody as the belt holder?
Well, they've already milked the chase for the belt with Cody for 2 years.
Yep.
So I think he has to hold it for a year to make it worthwhile. At least until Rumble. At least until Rumble at the minimum. They cannot have a 2-year chase for the belt and then nix it after a few months. It would just... Unless, of course, there's he has to drop it through injury or there's some sort of big, something like that. Aside from Like, if we're talking pure storyline, he has to hold it for a year. I mean, there could be some shenanigans here and there. Like, he can have some near falls and stuff. Absolutely. But, yeah. Yeah. I think he has to hold it for a year.
Yeah.
So something else that was notable about that promo was, I think it was after, was Paul Heyman talking to Solo Sikoa about bringing the title back to the Bloodline.
Yes.
So that's that we will get to that.
The new tribal heir.
Well, we will get to that soon. So Cody, great promo as always. Good guy, Cody Rhodes. Love him. The next, so then we had a match, which is, you know, quite rare these days, I suppose, with the amount of promos that were going around before Mania. We have a triple threat, which I already is just absolutely, you know, pure Triple H booking here, because, you know, I love a triple threat or any multi-man match, as we're very, it has been very obvious by the way I've been booking my brand on the universe. So we had LA Knight versus Bobby Lashley versus Santos Escobar. That is a pick and mix of a triple threat. That is, someone's gone into Woolworths and they've picked three very different wrestling styles to be in a triple threat, which actually I would welcome, because having the same three people or the same three types just whacking each other all the time, it's fine, but it gets really stale after a while. So you know, I like this. I like the fact that they decided to put Lashley back into a more higher position, and they're trying to elevate Santos Escobar.
Yes,
he just needs to figure out what his character really is. That's
he just needs to win.
Well, I mean, poor Santos, but you know, I think he just needs to figure, like, really cement what his character is, like who Santos Escobar is. Because he's kind of gone through a couple of things at the moment.
When you look at who was in the other match that had the stipulation of the winner of this match will face the winner of the other match.
Yeah.
In thing, you sort of got to the stage where it was almost like, well, we know at this point that Bobby Lashley, probably isn't going to win.
Yep.
Because there's two other rivalries already going on between these two matches, which makes more sense in a booking way.
In a booking perspective, absolutely, yes. Yep.
Yeah, than anything else. So you sort of got, this was always going to be the outcome, because we get to the end of the match and it is, it's going to foreshadow the other match, but it's LA Knight picks up the win. So with everybody saying,
love him. I'm not bored of LA Knight yet. I am not bored of him at all.
No.
So I'm looking forward to seeing him actually get somewhere this year.
Yeah, hopefully this is the start of his push. We have been hearing for ages that there was always going to be a push for LA Knight after.
Yes, we did.
Mania, because they obviously book Mania probably a year in advance. They've probably already booked.
Close to, yeah.
They've probably already started booking next year's Mania. So.
Yeah, and then now it's a case of how do we consistently build to it, yeah.
Yeah. So at this stage, it's sort of like, right, okay, we've got next year's match. That's fine. Not next year's match, but we've had last year's Cody Rhodes finishing his story. So we then need to now boost LA Knight, because he has got over. And this, I feel like if they don't start to do something with LA Knight,
they've
probably up to SummerSlam, they've missed it completely.
Yeah, the opportunity goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lashley solo again. Still has his pride gear on, if that's what they are calling him. So perhaps that you will get the pride continuing as a freeway, but especially now that he's not in this title picture, at least until after Backlash.
Yeah.
The Street Profits did come out, so pride is obviously still going on because they neutralized Legado del Fantasma.
Well, they're in his
Um,
corner at least.
yeah, yeah, because the Legado del Fantasma came out to help Santos to try and get Santos to win, and
Yeah.
then it looks like the Pride. Although the Pride are there, it makes sense that the Pride are there to defend Bobby because Bobby's in the match.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you sort of wonder. It worries me that we're still not over the whole LWO Legado del Fantasma, even after Mania.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to resurface at some point
Oh,
because they've
100%.
got nothing else for them. So
Yeah. Well, what do you they, they had the crew. Okay, it would make more sense if there was a cruiserweight belt, which they had, but obviously it wasn't doing as well. But then again, this was a different era, like where Vince was like separating everything, like where everything had its own show.
yeah,
And cruiserweight wrestling is superb. I love cruiserweight wrestling, but I'm not going to sit and watch an entire show of it, especially 2 hours. I'm not going to sit there and watch 2 hours of a completely separate thing when I've got 3 hours of Raw, 3 hours of SmackDown, 2 hours of NXT as well. No, thank you. No, thank you.
yeah,
You know, that's too much. It's too much wrestling. And then if I did like AEW, I've got to watch that too. Like, no. So yeah, yeah, I think they need to really sit. They need to sit and think about what they're going to do with these guys because, like you said, even after Mania, we're still going to have Legado del Fantasma and LWO doing whatever it is they do. So yeah, but yeah, as far as matches go, it looked great. It looked good. Everyone got to show off, what they could do.
the tag belts are now split, so you could always have them for them.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
you could, yeah.
I can't see them doing it because it was I don't watch enough indie promotions to know if this is the first time it's been done because I don't think it's ever been done in WWE before. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. But now that AEW have the triples belt, I feel like that's something that they could have brought into WWE, but I feel like they won't because it seems to be like that's an AEW thing that they're just taking.
Yeah.
So I feel like they'll leave that. But that could have been something they brought in to help these because faction warfare. Triple H has got so many factions now that the triples belt would work.
Yeah, it really would. And you never know. Like, this is a new era. They're not going to fucking just splurge it all at once, all their ideas and everything that they're going to come up with. Like, they're going to do slow releases as the year goes on so that they keep things going. Because if they were to, like, smash everything, whatever they've got out, like, thing, they would all the hype would be over and then we'd be back to, like, just regular programming. Whereas they keep drip feeding us with new things, with, like, different ideas. I think we're going to have something special. All right, so moving on from this, so LA Knight won, which means that he will face whoever the winner of the next match was. Then we have a in-ring promo. We have what's left of the bloodline after Roman Reigns has taken a hiatus. Heyman, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso in the ring. They wanted to talk about WrestleMania. The promo was good. Heyman, forever, constantly on form. Absolutely love him. I have no issues with anything that they said. It all made sense, and it was all leading up to the same thing. It's quite interesting. The terminology that they used was that Roman Reigns didn't blame anybody who interfered in his match. He wants the bloodline to take full accountability. So that's everybody. Yeah.
Paul Heyman's just like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
Hey, involved.
Yeah. Heyman's just like, what? So then we had a debut, a much awaited debut, one that I think we called very early on. I think maybe episode 2. We were like sprinkling that in that maybe that something would happen. I think we were saying it was going to happen at Mania, but it didn't. We got the debut of Tama Tonga, who, for anyone who is not aware, is the son of Haku, or Meng if you watch WCW. One hard bastard is also one of his nicknames. And they attacked Jimmy Uso because Solo said that losing has consequences, meaning Jimmy's match with Jay at WrestleMania, where mid card Jay Uso, beat his brother quite soundly in a very poorly paced match, I might add, but I've said that already about my thoughts on
0.75 stars it got from Dave Meltzer, that match.
How many? 0.7.
0.75.
I mean, I don't give a shit about Dave Meltzer's.
No, neither do I. It's a load of crap.
It's a load of crap, but yeah, it was not a good match. I think people were kind of looking forward to it, but then it kind of just bottomed out, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But then they took it, but they went a bit further, because not only did they jump Jimmy, they destroyed Heyman's phone, so he couldn't call anybody. Like, not sure who he would have called, but maybe Roman Reigns, but I don't know.
Roman or Rock.
Yeah, and then they put a chair around Jimmy Uso's neck in the corner, I think, or something like that, and then they did the corner splash. And then Heyman was like, "Is this what the Tribal Chief would want? No." I think a lot of people were not expecting it, which is what made it a bit more exciting. Because if it's something unexpected,
Yeah, the only worry for me is when he stamped on Heyman's phone, like Heyman's shitting himself as you would be.
Yeah.
But it's like he was going to turn on Heyman, and I know, I think I've said this in the past, but I still don't think that Solo's ready to be Solo. I think he needs that mouthpiece which Heyman provides.
He does.
In-ring ability, Solo's fantastic, but he doesn't have the charisma to be on the microphone. He needs someone like Heyman, so they can't kick Heyman out of the bloodline here.
No, I think Heyman stays in the bloodline for now. Whether he wants to or not is one of those
Especially since Roman is going to take a hiatus, and obviously The Rock is going to go off and film some movies, so they need someone that can talk.
Absolutely. I think what might be interesting to note as well is that it might be one of those situations where Heyman is now part of the bloodline, whether he likes it or not. That could be part of the story. He's kind of forced into it, But then now we could be looking at reuniting the Usos to go for the tag belts at some point. I don't want it to happen straight away. This has got to be a slow feed where Jimmy is constantly getting beaten up by the new version of the bloodline, and eventually Jay has to step in and save his brother, and that's when we get the Usos back. Because I like the whole main event Jey Uso thing, but I don't think it's taken off as well as people would have wanted. His yeet thing is definitely taken. Like, that's a nice, cool thing, but I don't think his solo run has quite hit the trajectory they wanted. Like, he's not white hot. He's kind of like, people like it, but it's not like, like how LA Knight was like the man around Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's hit that stride yet, but we'll see. But yeah, I especially after Mania, just wanted to add, at Mania with Solo hitting 2 spikes on Cody and Roman still couldn't get the job done. It kind of felt like that was the breaking point for him. Like, clearly he's not got faith in Roman Reigns anymore, and he's gonna take over, things like that.
I still think that we might get to a stage where we could get War Games, and I know I always go to War Games because I love it, but you could get Roman, Jay, and Jimmy versus Solo, Tama Tonga, and The Rock. And
Could,
then
yeah,
you
maybe.
could, then they could even chuck in. I think there's another
There is.
Fatu out there
Yeah,
somewhere.
Jacob Fatu, yeah.
Jacob Fatu, yeah. They could add him to Solo's side, and then maybe
Yeah.
Sami Zayn returns as an honorary use.
No, no,
The other one.
it'll be for custody of Paul Heyman. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Sammy, but there's something else happening with Sammy at the moment. So maybe he's
I just think they
he's
need a
occupied.
fourth because obviously War Games is 4-on-4, so they need
Yeah.
Roman, Jay, and Jimmy would need a fourth member, and Sammy makes the most sense with his history from the bloodline and
Yeah.
friendship with Jay.
But let's see what happens with what's happening with him first before we get to Survivor Series War Games. But that would be cool. That would be very cool, and it would probably be one of those things where well, no, if Sammy's involved, no, it wouldn't be an all Samoan main event, would it?
No,
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, yeah, I mean, I think next week we'll get more introduction to Tama Tonga a bit, like who
he'll
he is
probably have a
in
few squash
relationship.
matches.
Yeah, they'll probably.
There'll be a few enhancement talent, a few call-ups from NXT that he just flattens.
Yeah, there'll be some explanation to his character. I think, like introduce him to the universe and why he's in with the bloodline and stuff like that. Right, moving on. So we had a couple of quick matches. One that I know that you will not like the outcome of, but we had Bron Breakker versus Cameron Grimes, who is the official jobber for Monday Night Raw at the moment.
SmackDown.
For SmackDown, sorry. Yeah, he yeah, Bron Breakker just destroyed Cameron Grimes in pretty quick fashion.
Yep.
Less, was it 5 minutes less?
Less, I think.
Yeah.
It was the Steiner ladder, then into a spear,
Yep. Yeah.
and then that was pretty much it. It was just a squash match, bog standard.
Yeah. Definitely. They
Poor, poor Cameron Grimes.
yeah. But the thing is his gimmick was basically that he invested in crypto. That has nothing to do with wrestling. that doesn't translate to it for me, in my opinion. Yeah. So Breaker easily defeated Cameron Grimes. It kind of it just quickly it kind of feels like they're still trying to introduce people to Bron Breakker to make him legitimized on the main roster. People already know who he is. Like he's not a stranger.
There are people. Yeah, there are people that don't watch NXT, so I feel like that's why they're trying to bring up the whole. If you don't watch NXT, you need a way to know who Bron is, and this way they just make him look like an absolute unit.
I think we're going to start getting video packages again for superstars that are coming up from NXT.
Because that's what happened with Karrion Kross. He was absolute unit in NXT, came up to the main roster, and okay, yes, the gimmick didn't help when Vince decided to just change everything.
Yeah.
Whereas now people are keeping their they're keeping the gimmick that they've got.
Yes.
So maybe that'll change, but for like Karrion Kross, he came up and no one knew who he was if you didn't watch NXT, and then that was it. He just got buried instantly because everyone was like, well, don't know who he is, don't know what's so special about him, yet he was undefeated on NXT.
And this was the problem, wasn't it? So, okay, I understand what they're doing, but I think we're going to start seeing, in the future, we'll start seeing more video packages of all their achievements in NXT, and then they can come out on the main roster. So people already know that they're like, oh, so they were NXT champ, they did this, they did that. All right, cool. And then they come out on the main roster, people are like, right, I already know a bit about this person, let's see what happens. So then Bayley came out for a promo.
Yep, first time appearing as champion since Mania.
That's right. The crowd were into it. They were really happy to see her, I suppose. Like, you know, there was a lot of support for her. She did the classic baby face thing where she thanked everybody, the locker room, fans, you know. Um, did she she issued an open challenge from what I saw. And
Yeah, it was pretty much the. She said that she was going to have a. It wasn't an open challenge. She was going to basically say that Naomi was going to get a shot or something like that.
right,
But she gets interrupted by Daddy's little princess.
yeah, Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton comes out and
Yep.
says, "You were going to do an open challenge. I accept."
Yeah.
And Bailey just goes, "I wasn't."
Yeah. Right.
And I was going to give it to Naomi, and then Tiffany says that she's already beaten Naomi on SmackDown in like
But she did.
quick. Yeah, she did. She wiped the floor for it. Was like over, and it was like a women's match of old.
Yeah.
It was sort of show. I think that was again just showcasing what Tiffany Stratton could do from NXT, but I think they also sort of panicked a little.
Yeah.
And just sort of went, no, we're not doing that sort of thing.
Right. Right.
So
You can't bring Naomi back after she's been away and proven herself, and it's like, you know, been very good at what she does, and then squash her. Like you can't do that. So I think they quickly like reversed that what they were doing.
yeah, and then I think so. But anyway, Naomi comes out. They have their rubber band match.
Yep.
And
Naomi won.
Yeah, Naomi won. Naomi wins this match, so I imagine we're going to get the third in a series of that.
And I think Tiffany goes over. If I'm being honest, I think there's a bit more going into Tiffany's build than Naomi, because everybody knows who Naomi is, and unfortunately, because of crap booking previously, she's not exactly left like a winner's profile on the WWE universe. But
yeah,
they can change it if they want. But again, it's 50-50 booking is not going to help either of these people. So
no, but I feel like we may get a triple threat down the line, or I think it is at some point this year. I think we're going to see my spirit animal and Tiffany Stratton with that women's championship. Especially since there's no mid card belt, I do feel like it's going to come.
You think so? Okay.
I do. Yeah, I think this year we're going to get it, at least one. I think we, unless we do get a women's IC belt, which they need. The women's roster's only getting better and better, and they need that mid card belt.
Okay.
Or whatever happens in the draft might happen, but because obviously you've got the people that are in the next match that we're going to talk about coming as well, which they probably deserve a belt. But yeah, there's a lot of women. I think the women are in desperate need for a mid card belt now. But yeah, that next match was Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Yep.
And yeah, Jade Cargill, I think this is WWE's way of introducing her while she's still not ready, in their opinion.
Yeah.
Because they've kept her quiet and on the sidelines for so long.
Yep.
That we've got they've now gone, right, let's put her in a tag team.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair is in there. We'll let them, so Bianca can do a lot of the work. Jade can come in, hit 1 or 2 of her big moves. We'll put them against, obviously, not Piper Niven, but in like someone like Chelsea Green, who is just the master at selling.
Oh, 100%.
So she can do all of that for her and make her look like an absolute unit. It means that they don't have to squash damage control every week, because I do think they want damage control to work. I just don't think they are going to get it to work with the way they're doing it.
We'll see.
But yeah, this is another 2. Both these women, in Bianca and Jade, I think they're the ones that should also be going for that belt. But at the same time, if I was to say on paper I look at a match that says Jade Cargill versus Bayley, or Bianca versus Bayley, I'm going for Jade or Bianca. I don't think they, like, as much as I love Bayley, I mean, I went for her for the predictions video for the Rumble.
Yeah, same.
So I've been behind Bayley. We then have this sort of like champion that there's some people which look like too strong. So I think at some point this tag team's going to break up, and we're going to get a feud of Bianca and Jade to basically keep both of them away from the title picture for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that Tiffany Stratton might be the one that gets the belt off Bayley towards maybe SummerSlam, maybe a bit after.
Right.
You've also got Charlotte that's going to return at some point, unless the draft happens and Bianca and Jade get drafted to Raw, and then they don't have to worry about Bayley doesn't have to worry about either of them.
Yeah.
Which we might get.
Yeah.
But
I completely agree. I completely agree. Cargill, she's great, but she's not. You can see she's a bit nervous still. I think like she just wants to get. She wants to get it right, and she wants to do well, which you can only respect. But putting her in a tag is superb, especially with someone as good as Bianca Belair. I know I've been saying for ages that she needs a heel turn, because I believe she will be I think she'll be an absolutely amazing heel character if they decide to pull the trigger on that with Bianca Belair, because she's just got that thing about her that I think that given the right coaching, I think she can be an amazing heel. But we may see that in time, who knows. But putting them two together, really, really good. It kind of still keeps the women's tag going, but I think this is more of a let's protect Jade Cargill for a moment till she finds her feet, and then once she's good, then we can split up the tag without really sort of acknowledging it, So yeah, and just what Chelsea Green is, she's just brilliant at what she's absolutely brilliant at what she's doing right now. So well done, Chelsea Green. She's playing her role perfectly. Right, let's move on. So we had the other triple threat, and when you hear the participants, if you've been paying attention to wrestling in the last 3 weeks, you'll know who's going to win, considering who we've told you won the first triple threat. So the second triple threat match was between Kevin Owens versus Rey Mysterio and AJ Styles. No prizes for guessing who wins this one, considering that LA Knight won the first one.
Yep, they're carrying on this feud that came from nothing, and it's rolling on down that road.
Yep, this is it. It's a feud that was born from pretty much nothing, for nothing, over nothing, and it's very very disappointing in my opinion. Very disappointing. Oh, LA Knight must have heard me. Look, he's coming out to the Rumble. He must have heard me. Okay. Well, AJ Styles won.
Yep, AJ wins to again set up this 12th match in the rivalry between these pair.
Yeah. I thought they would have finished it at the Rumble Mania, but clearly not. Clearly not.
I think we are going to get AJ Styles winning and taking on Cody Rhodes at Backlash. And then because otherwise you're going to have a face versus face at Backlash, which people won't know, because the problem they've got is people cheer LA Knight, and WWE are going to want them to cheer Cody, and obviously people are going to cheer Cody. I'm not going to say that they wouldn't if LA Knight was against them, but this is going to be his first title defense. They're going to want the place to erupt with Cody and everything like that. So I think you need a heel rather than a face versus face.
Yes.
And that means AJ Styles will probably win, and then we'll get another match between LA Knight and AJ Styles down the line. Maybe both of them will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't know, but I do think that at this point, it's going to be AJ Styles that picks up the win, but maybe probably doing something very heelish to cement himself as a notable prick, and just be like, I don't know, he's going to use a weapon or something low blow when the referee's not looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's. I do think that's it. But it was an interesting way to end SmackDown. We had a stare down between the two of them. LA Knight came out at the end, having to get another stare down.
Yeah. Again, this is. I mean, there was good. So they're doing something different now for anyone that listens to the podcast to catch up but isn't actively watching. Something that they're doing at the moment, which I'm really enjoying, is they're doing this thing where backstage they are following one of the superstars from backstage through what is known as the gorilla position, which is just before you come through the curtain to go out to the ring, and there's like a continuous camera shot from the backstage through the gorilla to the ring, or at least to the entranceway, and apparently Kevin Owens really took advantage of it and was basically, being. Well, he was being real about it, like he was complaining about sitting in the ring during the commercial, so they're doing a lot of good camera work, a lot of good, stuff like that. It's really, the production is going up. Like, it looks really good. They're doing a lot more, more things like that. Rey Mysterio looked like he had something to prove. Because apparently he was like working triple time almost, like he was everywhere at once, that sort of thing. Which leads me to believe that he's kind of trying to push for the company to put stock in his feud, or his faction's feud with Legado del Fantasma. Don't know if that's going to get much, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, apparently it was it was all very creative. There was a lot of good spots, but that's pretty much that was SmackDown in the bag.
Yep.
That was it.
Ended with the stare down and then show went off air.
Yeah, but they'd like to do that, which it's fine, but again, it's a bit like. Do we need another AJ Styles LA Knight feud still again, so anyway, right, let's move on to Raw. Otherwise, we're gonna end up with an extra long podcast again. Can't be as bad as the other one, but still. So we have So in advance for Monday's show, they had lots of stuff announced. So just quickly run through the list. We had an Intercontinental Championship match. Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable. Sami Zayn did promise Chad his opportunity. He did promise him that if he was to beat Gunther, that he would have a match. He would get his title opportunity. We had Jey Uso versus Finn Balor, which is interesting, considering that Finn is still part of the Judgment Day, and he had a singles match with Jey Uso for some reason. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance versus Chelsea Green, Piper Niven. So that's something we've seen before. That sounds like a nothing match, but that's just me. Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree, who we now know are a tag team, versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Andrade versus Dominic Mysterio. Again, they're splitting up members of the Judgment Day for singles matches, I should say. But that sounds good to me, knowing how good Andrade and Dominic has become. The latest in the rivalry between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. We will talk about that. We have a return and more from Cody Rhodes. So, so kicking off the show, they have a promo again, which is, not unusual. Rhea Ripley kicks off with a pretty shit announcement, to be quite fair, and a lot of people were very disappointed. I'm a bit pissed off, but the announcement was that she has to vacate the title.
Vacant is yet again champion.
Vacant and new. She's damaged her shoulder. She's
apparently taken a hit it against the wall awkwardly is what they're selling it as in the attack last week from Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Carrying on their feud, but we don't know if that's just like a story and there's something more going on. So we'll see how long this injury is apparently going to keep her out for, because it must be something that's come up recent, so it could be legit. Because a lot of the rumors are that she and Buddy Murphy are expecting a baby, which if that was the case, then surely you just give it to Becky Lynch at Mania, because surely, although then again, if they already knew that, she probably wouldn't have wrestled at WrestleMania, because of you're not going to take a bump while you're pregnant. So
no.
So maybe it came out of the blue. Maybe they did a test, pregnant.
Yeah.
Happy for Rhea. Maybe that's why. So if it's a long sort of, obviously we don't have to wait long, because you don't have to wait 9 months. If she's out for 9 months, it's sort of like, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Or longer. But if it's an arm injury like they're selling it for, then I don't know. It just doesn't seem right, because unless it's like shattered the shoulder or something like that, I can't see why you would have to vacate the title.
The thing is, with legitimate injuries, it normally, unless this is all part of the Triple H thing, where legitimate injuries are still like they're it's not public knowledge. Normally, with a legitimate injury, they have the storyline thing, and then a few weeks go by, and then they're like, oh no, so she's like, separated her shoulder, or she's blown out her rotator cuff, or whatever it is, that they then go, look, okay, no, for real, like, she's hurt, it's not storyline, or or there's a social media announcement or something. But again, this could all be part of this could all be part of Triple H's way of doing things. So even if it is legit, he could still want to keep it quiet for whatever reason. But she said that she's going to come back and just take the title back, because no one can stand in her way.
You kind of just got to believe her as well, haven't you?
I do. We'll see what happens. So yeah, title is vacant. Liv Morgan came out and fanned the flames. Shall we say?
What's going on behind you?
Yeah.
A whole little, like, you're crying.
Yeah. She's like,
Crying
"Oh, are you sad?" Yeah. Which in the grand scheme of things will turn Liv Morgan heel.
Turn Liv heel, turn Rhea babyface when she comes back. I mean, she was never really a heel to begin with. People loved Mammy, so
they did. I mean, they booed as like part of the show, but yeah, they generally enjoyed everything she did. It is disappointing. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I've just read something on this thing. It says that something that we've seen with the Triple H, one element of the Triple H era, is that fans have been treated with respect and not like they don't know what's going on. So they're allowing people to acknowledge that fans have figured things out, perhaps.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on, we have a return. We have a
One
return.
of the best returns,
Mm-hmm. And only
and not just
because...
because he's a homegrown boy.
No, not just because of that reason. More so because of how they came back. So, anyone who was a fan of Sheamus since he arrived, pretty much, he's back. The fella is back. And he's using his old music. He's wearing his old ring gear. Um,
It started off like it was going to be the Brawl and Brutes because it had that sort of fight night
yeah,
feel with like the whole like white background, big flash, and then all of a sudden when the flash happens and the music comes back on, it was Too Many Lies, and oh
yeah. Great theme tune. Great theme tune. It's really good, and I'm so glad that they brought it back. Yeah. So Sheamus is back. He faced Ivar of the Viking Raiders, who I think he's in a difficult position, waiting for his tag team partner to come back. He's winning a couple, then losing a couple. Like they're trying to keep like him strong, but it's becoming more and more difficult with Eric being out.
yeah. I feel as well that we've got I don't know if this is going to happen, but what I kind of want to happen is that Clash of the Castle in Glasgow, we're going to get Drew McIntyre beating Damian Priest for the world champion, and we're going to get Sheamus bro kicking Sammy's skull clean into Rose Ed to become a Grand Slam champion for the IC belt.
Yeah,
Because Sheamus is running out of time in WWE. Like time's going to catch up with
43,
everyone.
I think.
Yeah, I know he's got his gym stuff and that, but he's also starting to do films and stuff. But injuries are now starting to become more regular occurrence for him as well. So I don't know how long he's
Yeah.
actually going to have properly left.
Yeah,
So
I don't know either.
So I do think that we do need to get Sheamus with the belt on him one last time with the IC, or not one last time, but with the IC belt.
Yeah,
Because he deserves to be a Grand Slam champion.
yeah, yeah, I would agree. I would agree absolutely. Yeah, and he looked good. He looked strong. Like he's not lost a step really. In my opinion, he's. We got to remember as well though. The other side of the coin is that Ivar's not. He's not gunning for anything on the main roster right now because
Yeah.
he's currently feuding in NXT with Obafemi over the North American title. But yeah.
It's a shame, but like you say, hopefully Eric comes back soon and we can get the Viking Raiders back together. Or
the full squad. Yeah.
And then
But
the
yeah,
next,
that's good.
up next we had brand new world titles being announced by Tommaso Ciampa. He came to the ring and announced that new belts were being.
It wasn't Tommaso, just for any kayfabe. It was Triple H. But yeah, because of all the fun that DIY and Awesome Truth have been having with switching Triple H for Tommaso Ciampa and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's the joke. I have to explain it in case people aren't clued in. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, we had Triple H came down to the ring, invited the Awesome Truth down, and then unveiled. There was a cloth in the ring, which could only mean one thing.
Yeah.
Sting was hiding under it.
A very small version of Sting.
Yeah. No, there was new belts. New belts got delivered, and then R-Truth just didn't believe anything that Triple H said.
No. Yeah.
He said that it was going to be a scam. He sees little Jimmy, and he sees magic tricks all the time, and he's seeing a lady that could produce birds out of a hat and all sorts. And he goes, "I can see right through you, Tommaso Ciampa."
Yeah.
And all the while, Miz is just going, "No, that's Triple H. I'll explain to him."
Yeah. Miz is like his carer. But the great part is that they're letting R-Truth be funny. They're letting him be him. And Miz is being another superb version of the Miz. Like he's done nothing wrong here. Triple H enjoyed it so much he broke character.
Yeah, he laughed. He
Yeah,
broke down at Tommaso Ciampa.
yeah, yeah. So that, and I like this. I like this because wrestling is supposed to be fun, and I think it got to a point where it was too serious, and it was like I'm not enjoying it. But now we've
Yeah.
got R-Truth being the best version of R-Truth. Miz is superb as always. Adam Pearce is doing what he needs to do, and Triple H is just being awesome. By the way, the belts are absolutely gorgeous. They are
Yeah.
so fucking nice. I hope they update the game and the ones that they had before
Someone's
become
made the
legacy
custom
belts.
belt.
Huh? Oh yeah. Someone will custom make it, but
They've already been updated. There's a custom one on there, so you can download these new belts already a day after the Orca came
but
out.
I want it to be a legit, like not a custom. Don't leave it to the community to do. Do it like get the people who made the game to do it. In my opinion, anyway, because they look so nice, and
They do, and I
just
think that SmackDown should come the same.
This is the thing. I hope that the SmackDown ones look very different, because the last thing you want is to have, like you were saying to me, the banner is red to represent Raw, and then the banner is blue to represent SmackDown. That will be really, really bad, and it'll be an opportunity to miss merchandise, if you ask me, because people who collect these, they'll want all of them. So if you have different ones that look significantly different on SmackDown, you'll sell more merch, in my opinion, for the collectors. Because they look great. They legit, but there seems to be a bit of a theme with all of the belts. They all look great, but they seem to have this the thing where they have the logo like in the middle, but quite small, and then everything around it. So, but yeah, I like that. I really the segment was great. If you can get on YouTube and watch the segment, it was really good fun. But then we ended up with a triple threat match, a tag team triple threat, which was interesting. It was your guys, DIY, versus my guys, the New Day, and then the Creed brothers, for a title shot. This was the number one contenders match, basically, to work out who's gonna go for it. And yeah,
it was a good match. It was a very good match.
Very good.
Finished off where they kept the Creed brothers looking strong.
Yep.
Because they weren't involved in the finish at all. DIY hit a meet in the middle for the on, I think it was Xavier Woods, could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it was they then pinned. Oh no, sorry, it was they hit it. Maybe they did hit it on Creed. Maybe they hit it on Julius Creed, actually meeting in the middle. I can't remember who they hit it with now. So I think it was the Creed brothers started to do like their moves on the New Day, which took New Day basically out of it, and then they tried to take advantage, and they hit meet in the middle as them two were fighting each other. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano just slid into the ring on opposite ends and hit meet in the middle, and then just like stole it basically.
Right.
The way a good triple threat match should end. I think that no team looked weak in this. I don't think there was a way to make any of these teams look weak because they're all great teams. I do think the Creed brothers are going to blow up this year, and be one of the biggest tag teams that WWE have.
Yes, agreed.
I feel like as much as I love DIY, like I've been open, Johnny Wrestling, one of my favorite wrestlers. They're great, but I do think that this is also sort of like Triple H just giving back to his boys, because Triple H loved these two, and NXT. They carried the black and gold brand
Oh,
for him at a
yeah,
time.
absolutely. Now he's in charge. They're going to get the respect they deserve on the main roster.
Yeah,
Because when they Johnny, when they were brought up, Tommaso Ciampa was still the Black Heart, and
yeah,
and Johnny Gargano was still, he was still Johnny Wrestling. He was still
yeah.
doing all his good stuff too. And they kind of just fucking like, yeah, they didn't do anything with it. So yeah, but yeah, great match. Yeah, yeah. We'll move on to the next match. Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile versus Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae. So for weeks leading up to this, Candice LeRae has been cheating. She's been, doing all kinds of shenanigans, and to win the matches and helping Indy Hartwell, and
Indy Hartwell's always looked pissed off.
she's always looked uncertain, unsure, not happy about all this. So going into the match, you kind of think, well, this is when Indy Hartwell turns on. Candice LeRae tells her to get lost. She's done with her. That's on the other. But then we got a classic Triple H swerve, and Indy Hartwell went along with what Candice LeRae was doing, and is now a full blown heel.
Yep.
So
Took out Maxine Dupree.
that's right.
Blindsiding her.
Yeah.
And yeah, even Maxine Dupree at the end was sort of like, "What happened? I don't understand what happened."
Yeah. And again, Maxine's doing what she needs to do. She's doing exactly what she needed to do.
I think they both put on a good performance. Well, even like all four women in this match put on a really good show. They played their parts correctly. When Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile were on top, they looked like they were working really well as a team.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that feel of a team that's just being you pair can be chucked together.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, they look like a cohesive unit. Like they've been doing it, like they've been tagged for a while,
Yeah.
But I think the point of the story of this is that Indy Hartwell's now a heel as well.
Yeah, that's the main takeaway from this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll even see Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile again team up, because I feel like, but the weird thing for this again for me is that you've got Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, you've turned them full blown heel.
Yeah.
But your women's tag title holders are heels.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So
where's the babyface team that's gonna be the hot potato?
I think it's gonna be Maxine Dupree. I think after everything, Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile will be that super underdog babyface team. And people will want to see Maxine, especially Maxine Dupree, they'll want to see her succeed.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a long build. It'll be a slow build, I think, because they got way too much going on otherwise. And I think we will see them pick up the titles down the line.
Yeah. It was a good match. Shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
It's another weird nothing match, really.
Yeah.
It just furthers another feud, because they've had Andrade beats Dirty Dom from the Judgment Day, and then after the match we have JD McDonough tries to attack Andrade, and then Ricochet comes out to make the save. So none of the members of the LWO come out to make the save of the guy that's been helping them.
Yeah.
Instead, Ricochet continues his feud with JD.
Yeah.
And there's just so many feuds that are being mashed together here that make no fucking sense whatsoever.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the worst. And the match itself, fine. Don't have an issue with the match itself. But this is something that I feel like I hope Triple H can sort of stamp out this new era of WWE.
Yeah.
Like, this just feels like they've got so much going on that they don't know what to do with everyone, and they've just gone, let's just mash this together and hope for the best.
Yeah, it really feels that way, doesn't it? They just, like, they know that they're talented, they know they're good. What do we do with them? And yeah, it feels like they're kind of just banging, like, it's like, you know, when kids have like tons of wrestling figures, and they just like, oh, you versus you, like, it doesn't make sense. It just kind of feels like that. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna get. Maybe probably a tag team match: Ricochet and Andrade against JD and Dom at Backlash. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. It would be a good match because everyone who's in it is superb, but yeah, it kind of doesn't do anything.
Yeah, very much high flyers, but at the same time, it feels like they've gone from Dirty Dom being North American champion.
Yeah.
They brought JD up and had him sort of like lingering in the background, like, is he going to split the Judgment Day up? Is Finn going to side with JD?
Yeah.
No, he fully joined the Judgment Day, and then they've just gone, you know what? You're going to be the fall guy every single week.
Yeah.
And they've just absolutely, and not only is it burying JD, but it's also burying the Judgment Day at times when he just gets absolutely slapped about.
It is, because
it doesn't add to anything in the background. Like, you don't even get, like, in the Bloodline, we've seen like Solo turn on Jimmy and say there's consequences for losing. There's none of that in the Judgment Day. It's just next week. All right, we're fine. Go out there and try and beat him. Oh, you lost again. Great.
Never mind. Never mind. It's like, wait, what? See, in the universe mode, which you should go and check out, is a lot of fun. I'm booking my brand as a league because winning matters. You know what you get when you win? You get championship opportunities because you're a winner. You deserve to be on top. But then you know, with this is kind of like Judgment Day. Like, oh well, you lose again. Okay, never mind. It's like, no, it should matter. But yeah, I think JD Madonna he's literally to take the pin and everything. He's literally there to lose for the Judgment Day, which is, I mean, clearly he's okay with it. He's doing it, but yeah, it is burying him as a character and a wrestler, and we know that he's he's actually very good. We've seen some of the stuff he can do, which is a bit of a shame. But again, a nothing match. So let's move on. I don't know. Is this a nothing match too? Caden Carter and Katana Chance versus Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. And looking at the result, which I didn't actually look at, yes, it was a nothing match.
Again, just burying tag teams.
Yeah, just 50-50 booking with tag teams. So Piper Niven and Chelsea Green defeat Katana Chance and Caden Carter, who we should add. They were
not long ago were the tag champions.
They were the tag champs for NXT
and Raw. I think they had them for a bit,
for a moment. Yeah, I think so. And then
they were former champions in the main brand as well.
Yeah, and then they lost very quickly to Asuka and Kairi Sane.
Yep.
Damage Control. So, Kabuki Warriors, who are currently the title holders. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like, again, the women's division is just in a bit of turmoil at the moment. They're not sure what they're doing with it. Especially, like I said, me and Orca absolutely agree that there should be a mid-card belt for the women's division as well.
Yep. And then just get rid of the tag belts.
Yeah, and just bin off the tags. Because if they're not going to build an actual tag division, just bin them off. It's fine.
Because this makes no sense to me, because you've got, like we say, you've turned Indy and Candice full heel. You've got Asuka and Kairi Sane heels. So the only babyface team are both these teams. So they've put really face against face. I wouldn't really say that Piper Niven and Candice LeRae, not Candice LeRae, Piper Niven and Chelsea Green are faces, but at the same time, people like Chelsea Green.
They do.
People like Piper Niven. It's a hard one for them to be like full blown heels because they both do their job really well.
Yeah, they do. They're really good at what they do.
And then Katana Chance and Caden Carter, I don't think they can be anything but baby faces the way they wrestle, the way they present themselves. I don't think they can ever be heels.
Yeah.
I don't think they have that sort of threat that heels should have.
No. Which, you know, it's true. You shouldn't have heel versus heel, but, you know, sometimes they're a different kind of heel. You know, like they're supposed to be, but you know, but people like them because they're being silly. So, yeah. Then I guess moving on to the very final thing was Cody Rhodes.
Still free. There's still three things left.
No, there isn't.
There's still three. Yes, there is.
Oh, well, that's not what I've got here.
You've got Cody Rhodes giving thanks to. He calls out Jay.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they have he thanks him for everything that he did at WrestleMania, how he came out to help take out Jimmy, this, that, and the other. And they have a nice little back and forth saying, almost like Cody's offering Jay a chance that they might have a match for the belt. He then just leaves the ring with Jay about to have his match. And it says, he goes, "Oh, and Jay, one more thing." And Jay sort of stops, and everyone's like, "Ooh, what's going to happen here?" And then Cody just turns to him and goes, "Until we yeet again." And they both just say yeet.
Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, it's gotten over, like the as a gimmick thing. Yeah, I'm all for it. You know, it's fine. It's good that they've come up with something other than just him being an Uso. You know, he's got his own thing going on.
Yeah. But then Jay has his match, so out comes Finn Balor again. Just a random match. Just Damian Priest is like, off you go. Go fight him. So for the bell, Finn Balor attacks Jay from behind and basically starts the match on the front foot. Jay goes full babyface and fights back after getting Finn goes for a coup de grace, and Jay just moves out the way and then hits him with a spear, which again, and now that Roman's gone, it's like someone else in the bloodline using the spear, but I think we've both said that too many people are now using the spear.
Yeah. Way too
and
many
Jay
people.
doesn't look like someone that should be hitting the spear. It doesn't have the same effect as when someone like Goldberg or Roman Reigns come flying at you with a spear.
Bron Breaker,
yeah. They're the three people that you should reserve the spear for.
Yeah.
Because Jay's doesn't look that impressive.
It's fine, but it's not a move that he should be using as a finisher.
Yeah. We then get the Uso splash to get a victory over Damian, to get a win over Finn Balor, not Damian Priest. Judgment Day then come down to try and assault Jay, like they always do, a little bit too late, and then Jay just runs away. That's how that match finishes. It was it was a weird sort of match that unless there was something that was said which I've missed, there was nothing for this, like there was no goal here, and it would make no sense for it to be a number one contenders match because then Finn would go against Damian Priest.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense. It just
which really fucks things up.
Yeah, so it's literally just it is just a one-on-one match. They've just gone, these two aren't doing anything. Shall we get them out there? Yeah, go on. It's like they're playing GM mode and everyone's just fatigued from Mania and they're just like they're chucking any match that they've got. We won't get injuries.
Yeah. I feel
every rivalry's on cooldown, so we're just going to start putting you against you.
Yeah, well, they just had Mania, so you know that's generally how it goes, right?
Yeah. But then we get to the main event of the evening, which was the Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable, which is the match that he promised Chad
He did. He did. And boy, was this a great match. No.
I tell you what, though, before we get into the match, this is another thing which WWE have been doing. They've sort of found this like new thing that they want to do, and I have said at times they've used it a bit too much. Like they're using it way too much, but it actually kind of worked in this moment because you had Jey Uso fled from the attack from the Judgment Day, as he said.
Yeah.
But the camera follows Jey, who goes out back, like to where the concourse area is, where all the merch stands are and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's just walking through there, high-fiving everyone. There's like fans out there just buying drinks, merch, whatever, and Jey Uso just comes walking past.
Yeah.
He goes through. He just shoves a random member of the public out the way, turning heel. If you watch it, there's someone that like walks in front of him, and I think Jey. Like, I don't think the fan knows where Jay's going because there's no security guard. Normally, you'd have a security guard in front saying, we're going this way, we're doing that, or whatever.
Yeah.
So this fan's just trying to get back to his seat, and Jey just pushes him in the back, and he goes flying, which just makes no sense. And then he...
we find out it's not a fan, it's someone from the Performance Centre.
Possibly, but
because that's straight up assault.
Yeah,
if that person is a proper fan goes over, they're now sitting front row WrestleMania for the next 3 years.
Yeah. So and then he carries on walking and he just leaves the arena, but the camera's following him. And as he leaves the arena, Sami Zayn is doing that game which he used to do as a kid, where you just stand there randomly and look up and see how many people walking past. Go, what's he looking at? What's he? Something. He's looking at nothing because the camera doesn't even turn around. The camera doesn't show what he's looking at, so Sami Zayn is just like stargazing outside the arena.
Right.
And then Jay's like, "What are you doing?" Like Jey looks up as well. And he's like, "There's nothing there, mate. You're looking at a building." And Sami just goes, "Like years ago, I started in this building or something like that." It's like that's meant to be what it is. So he's out there. But then the camera with no cuts follows Sami back in, and Jey goes, "Go get him then." And Sami goes back into the arena, and he's getting psyched up, getting like he did against Gunther. He just starts having a seizure in the backstage.
He's getting Goldberged.
Yeah, and it's like he's meant to be the babyface, but then so not only is a fan being assaulted, but the first thing Sami does when he gets in, getting pumped, is he picks up a recycling bin and then just spikes it into the floor. But the bin's full of shit, so everything just goes flying everywhere. He then He then high fives the same people at JC because they're all like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah.
And then he makes his entrance through the crowd, Shield style.
Okay.
To get down to the ring in the middle of Montreal because that's where it was, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And then so he has his match against Chad Gable, which was a good match as you would expect from any match with Chad Gable being involved in.
Yeah. But but before we get to the bit that probably really mattered, we've been saying if you go and check out our other podcasts in the run up to Mania, we said that this was coming for a long time. So Sami Zayn, he picks up the win. He beat Chad Gable and
He goes to respect Chad.
Yeah, I mean there was a handshake and a hug.
Yeah, and then Chad Gable hoists up his arm to say he's the winner, and it's
and then he assumingly he leaves the ring.
Yeah,
the camera work is good. We see him leave the ring, and while Sammy's music's playing, he goes to his wife is still sat at ringside. Has a little cuddle, but then pretty much what everyone was expecting. Suddenly he gets hoisted up into the air and German suplexed onto the floor outside the ring by none other than Chad Gable, turning heel in the process.
Just assault Sammy.
But I was happy. I was like, yeah, do it again. If I was Chad Gable's manager at this point, I'd have been just screaming at him to just keep German suplexing him on the outside. Again.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, he assaults and eventually gets Sami Zayn on the ring apron and just like
Oh, that was
runs and
so
like
good.
shoulder tackle, like chucks
Yeah.
Sami's shoulder first into the turnbuckle, and then as Sami sort of like lies through, he's looking at his wife, and Chad just gets up on the
Top
um,
turnbuckle.
top turnbuckle and locks in the ankle lock through the ropes.
Yeah, that looked fucking
Just,
awesome.
yeah,
That was so good. That was so good. Um, I feel like we should have seen a bit of this before because we know how good Chad Gable is and how, you know, how good he is at doing stuff like this.
yes.
But yeah, well, he's turned heel, so does that mean Alpha Academy doesn't exist anymore?
I don't know because we don't. Well, we haven't seen Otis and Akira Tozawa for ages, and Maxine Dupree's been off with Ivy Nile, so
Yeah.
I don't know if they've like broke them up without them having a breakup.
Okay.
I don't know. They've just sort of. But I guess we'll find out in a few weeks if we see Otis and Akira Tozawa together again.
Yeah. Maybe. Um, like, yeah. I mean, obviously, you and I were very upset that Sami Zayn dethroned Gunther instead of Chad Gable. But then that kind of was like, yeah, well, now Chad's a heel. Like like, yeah. I think I don't know what it is. It kind of stings me the wrong way because Chad Gable was a face going up against Gunther, legitimately could legitimately beat him, right? They chose not to go with that. They went with Sami Zayn instead. But now Chad Gable has to be the heel in this scenario. And it just, I don't know if they've done it the wrong way round. But, you know, I don't know. I was unhappy with that result anyway. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's it. That is SmackDown. That is Raw. So that was the SmackDown post Mania. And the Raw following that. So yeah, I don't I think they were very good. They were very good episodes of Raw and SmackDown. I hope there's more to come, but obviously we won't know until next week, and we won't know where storylines are going. But this is positive. This is all positive. This is all. That's the thing I will say. This is like we're 2 weeks into Raw on the Triple H era, and we're a week into SmackDown on the Triple H era. I think we're in for some good wrestling and good storytelling at this point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and thank you everyone for watching. If you are watching the video version, we appreciate it. Go and check out the other videos that we're going to have on the channel. We've got more universe mode coming up. We've got the card unboxing. We've got more of the
quiz.
We got the quiz, which is it's going to be awesome. Yeah, so check all that out. Leave a follow, a like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Leave a follow if you're on Spotify. We'd love to know what you think. Anything we could do better? Any suggestions for the channel? And with that being said, it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Thanks everybody. Have a great weekend.